welcome back. I hope you're all having a wonderful week so far. So today I am so excited. This was actually kind of a first impressions review, swatch, tutorial, all things in one haul even, of the Urban Decay Naked Basics 2 palette. So I did open this on camera and use it for the first time on camera, so if you want to see that, stick around for the end of this video where I share this eye look that I'm wearing. I wanted to hit on a few points before I go into that, and then at the end I will follow up. So this palette, okay, as you know, if you've been around for any amount of time, I love the original Naked Basics palette. I feel like if I had to get rid of every single palette that I own and I had, you know, to just get a basic palette, something that I can wear every day, but I can also turn it into night looks, it would be the Basics palette. I think it's a very good price point, but whenever I saw that they came out with the Naked Basics 2, I was dying for it. I didn't really oogle over a lot of the other newer palettes that have came out, but when I saw and heard that it was coming, this was coming out, I was like, I have to get it. Do love this. I'm super glad that I picked it up, and I am going to do some side-by-side swatches, but a little bit different from what other people are doing, and I will talk you through that here in just a second. But if you want to see the swatches and you want to see this eye look, just keep on watching. I'm sure you have all seen these two next to each other. So the top one here is the Urban Decay Naked Basics, and then this is the Basics 2, and seems like if you just scoot it down one, they're very, very, very similar shades except for the last few, but those first three shades seem so similar. So let me swatch them next to each other. These are funky swatches, guys, but this is the Urban Decay Naked Basics 2. This is the Naked Basics 1. So it is definitely different with these last few shades. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch some that I think are similar from each palette, and I will return. As I was saying before, is when you look at it like this, they do look very different, but when you slide it over one, I can definitely see how these colors resemble each other, these colors resemble each other, and then even like this one and this one. So can you see what I'm saying? A lot of people are swatching them like this, but I wanted to show y'all the colors that I think are similar, most similar in these palettes. So here are those two. This is Foxy from the original Naked Basics, and then this is Stark. So there is a bit of a difference. Let's move on to here, which this is Naked 2 from the original palette. And then this one right here is the color Frisk from the Basics 2. I do think these are very, very, very similar in tone, although in the actual palette, they are not directly under each other. So in the first one, it's this one right here, the fourth one from the lightest. And then in the second palette, we're going to scoot it over because it's only the third one. So these are those two shades, and I do feel like they're very, very, very similar. So the last one I want to talk about is actually the second to darkest shade in each palette. And in the Urban Decay, the original, it's called Faint, and in the other one, it's called Primal. So that is right here. Let me let it focus. And this is Faint from the original Basics, and then this is Primal from the Naked Basics 2. So those are all the shades that I feel like are very, very similar in both of the palettes. Mostly these two on the end here. This one not so much. But I did want to mention that because so many of the videos that I've seen have been, you know, just right below, like they're comparing it to right below, when that's not really the case. If you move it over, you can see what I'm talking about. But this is the true first impressions of the Naked Basics 2. Okay, so let me just say I was so excited about this. I didn't do one eye first because I wanted it to be a real unboxing or a real first impression. So there is the beauty. I didn't get the Lorac Pro 2. I didn't get the Tarte palette. But when I saw the Naked Basics 2, I was like, yes, please. So I'm going to take this third color, which is called Frisk. Yes. And I'm just going to use an E25 by Sigma and pop that in my crease. Guess what I started with? Painterly Paint Pot, of course. I sometimes think I use Painterly Paint Pot every day because I like saying it. Painterly Paint Pot. I feel like all fancy saying it. Is that silly? Probably, but y'all know me. I'm a silly girl. Yes, I am. Okay, the next color I'm going to take is Skimp, and that is this very first shade in the palette. It looks sort of yellow toned, but actually it's a perfect brow bone shade, isn't it? It looks kind of yellowish in the pan, but that's okay. These are like powdery for Urban Decay, honestly. They seem kind of powdery, but that's all right, girl. Okay, let's take this second to last shade, Primal, and I'm doing super simple. I just really wanted to see how they perform. But if you can see this, see, I just dipped into that right there, and see how it's kind of, let me show you, hang on. See how it's kind of picking up a lot of product? Okay, so I'm just going to kind of darken up this outer corner a bit. And that's a really pretty color, honestly. I love that one out of this palette. That's my favorite so far, and I didn't think it would be Primal. I'm telling you guys, though, it's picking up a lot of product. Although that could be good, right? To pick up a lot of product. Or you wouldn't have to use as much product. You know what I'm saying? You just barely tap your brush in there. Yes, I love this color. Whoo, girl. For darkening up that outer V, yes. And then I'm gonna take Stark, which is the second color. I'm trying to kind of incorporate all or most of these, but Stark looks like a really pretty blending shade. So let's just kind of use that to blend those crease colors out. What's that, buddy? Alright.
Is this going in the bloopers?
Probably. My life is a blooper. One big fat blooper. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put the color Undone, which is the darkest shade in the palette, on my lower lash line. And let me show y'all what I've been doing. I've been taking it and kind of flicking it upward and then fanning it inward to kind of darken up that outer V. And I've been liking that effect that it's given. It kind of feels like it makes my eyes a little bit wider, if that makes sense. I don't know. Y'all tell me. But I'm kind of digging it, to be honest. And then what I'm going to do is take my E25 and the second color again, the color Stark, and I'm going to start in the outer corner, and I'm just going to kind of blend it. I love this Stark shade for blending, honestly. Woo! I'm so digging this palette. You have no idea. I'm so glad I got it. The only thing is, I haven't even put anything on my like full lid. And there's really not a lot of shades to place on your lower lid. You know what I mean? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this color Skimp. The same one I used to do my brow bone highlight. And I'm going to put that on my lid. This is great if you love matte shadows. You need to get this. It's $27, I think. I had a sweetest friend ever send me this. I can't even. I love my friends so much. I'm just saying. So there is that. Like I said, if you're someone who likes to wear like a more shimmery shadow on the lid, this might be, you might have to reach for something else. But this is just a simple everyday look. I'm going to apply my eyeliner and mascara, and I'll be back to show. Okay, so there is the finished eye look. I did take, because I like a little bit of like shimmer in my inner corner, as a lot of people do. So I just took MAC Soft and Gentle and put that right there in the inner corner. But there is the finished look. Do I think that you need both of these? Probably not, because there are two very, very similar shades, as you saw in the swatches. But if you're someone who loves Urban Decay and you love matte shadows and you love neutrals, I do think that it's an excellent palette. I will definitely be keeping it and I will definitely be using it. I love, love, love it. My favorite one in here is Primal and Frisk. So that is Frisk right there, and that's Primal. And I love this palette. I'm so glad I got it. I definitely think if you're someone who likes, like I said, neutral palettes, you should pick it up. It's phenomenal. And let me tell you what else is on my face real quick, just so you know. I'm wearing this CoverGirl blush in Soft Sable as my blush. I'm digging it, y'all. I really am. And I'm not huge on CoverGirl products, but whoo, love it. So that's what I'm wearing on my cheeks right now. It does have a little bit of a sheen. And then I mentioned this in my Friday favorites last week. I am so in love with this Gerard Cosmetics 1995 lipstick. I have it on my lips right now and I love it. This is like my third video talking about this lipstick, but I do love it. When I first got it, I thought it was going to be a little bit drying, but the formula is phenomenal. I don't even have gloss on over it. So I love that. And yeah, that's what I have on my face. I'll list everything else that I'm wearing in the description box below. I hope you guys enjoyed this and I will talk to you soon. Bye.